Hello everyone, I'm Sandy Anastasi, psychic channel, intuitive astrologer, and soul coach. And I'm here with my psychic development tip number 38. This tip is on thought layers. Recently, I was asked a question about the invasiveness inherent in the skill that we call telepathy in the psychic field. And that prompted me to create this psychic development tip. It may very well be the most important tip that I've ever given. As mankind's evolution continues, folks, we're all becoming progressively more telepathic. So this tip really is for everyone, not just psychics or psychics in training. In a sense, we're all psychics in training when it comes to telepathy. For anyone who is already using psychic skills or who is learning to develop and use them with full awareness, this tip needs to be one of your golden rules. But everyone needs to understand and learn it. It's important, you see, to understand, first of all, that thought is vibration. And that vibration goes through three major transitions before it is projected out into the world, usually in the form of verbal communication or physical action. You're probably aware that the first stirring of thought, that is when an idea begins to bubble up from your unconscious, you're just subtly aware of it coming in. You're aware of it as it formulates itself, but you haven't even said it to yourself yet. It's not yet fully conscious. That is the deepest level of thought. Thoughts at that deep level may come directly from your subconscious. They may come from your guides, your higher self. You might have even picked them up unconsciously from another person. These thoughts, these very deep thoughts, are fully protected from all but trained psychics, as they have not yet come to your own full conscious awareness. That's why I call them deep thoughts. Now, the second level of thought is that level when your conscious, aware mind tells you the thought. Essentially, your own mind verbalizes the thought or idea to you. Now, you haven't yet spoken it or even given a lot of thought to it. You haven't toyed with it in your mind. Your mind simply tells it to you. This is like the first time you have consciously heard of it, but for some of you who are paying attention, it may almost sound like the thought was formulated by a deeper self and then verbalized to your conscious self, so you might hear it twice. This level of thought, this second level of thought, where you're fully aware of the thought, may be read by any telepath who is skilled and lacking in manners. Now, that's not just professionally trained telepaths. Obviously, that includes psychic readers. But don't forget that many people are now evolving the ability of telepathy on their own. Also, you've already seen this in your life. Your family members and people that you spend a lot of time with, your closest friends, can readily read your thoughts at this level if they're trying to figure you out. These people, untrained, can often be what I call psychically invasive. Thoughts at this level are your personal thoughts. The third level of thought occurs when you are getting ready to either act on the thought or verbalize it. You might say it's on the tip of your tongue. It's that moment before you're getting ready to say it. Now, thoughts at that third level are available for anyone to read. This is why so many people finish each other's sentences, or why someone interrupts you because they've already got what you were going to say. At the store, someone might reach for the item you were about to pick up just before you did. These are surface thoughts, you see, and everyone around you is reading them because you are unconsciously projecting them. You see, you're getting ready to act on them or speak on them, so it's almost as if the thought goes out a half second before you act or verbalize. So the person near you or that you're speaking with gets it. So now that you've got these basic understandings of how thoughts go through this process, it's time to take responsibility for how you're going to handle your own telepathic skills when reading the thoughts of another. You see, as your psychic skills continue to develop, your telepathic ability will blossom to where you're reading people's thoughts on all of these levels, even the deepest. Since when someone comes to you for a psychic reading, they are essentially inviting you into their deepest selves. Values and ethics come into play here, and you're going to have to develop your own because this is a highly individualized thing. It's a good idea to start with a "would I like it if someone did this to me" point of view. For myself, I am always aware of my own surface thoughts, since as we develop as psychics, our powers of thought projection increase. And I don't necessarily like someone grabbing that item I wanted before I could reach for it. For real. That used to be a real problem for me before I realized I was projecting to that person something that I wanted, so they thought they wanted it. Now I've learned to keep those thoughts to myself until I'm actually ready to act or to speak. I've also had to train myself to not finish other people's sentences or to cut off their train of thought before they've had a chance to share it. Frankly, other people will see those things as you're being rude, and you won't have many friends. I've also learned to allow people to tell me who they are and how they want me to see them, instead of doing that terribly psychically invasive thing that involves digging into their personal thoughts. Yes, I was that psychically invasive person myself, just as you might be. That's a danger we all face as we're developing our telepathy skills. Lastly, unless someone actually asks me to do a reading for them, I never, ever pry into those deep thoughts. Even then, I let my guides lead me to anything that's important for my clients to know or talk about. I never push through to areas that aren't my business. Perhaps the thoughts, those deep thoughts the other person's having, aren't yet conscious because they're not yet ready to know them or to deal with them. I hope that this tip has been helpful to you in developing your own psychic and telepathic skills, and I hope that you will make good use of it in interacting with other people, most especially your friends, your family, and your colleagues. It may just help you to keep some valuable relationships that, if your psychic telepathic abilities go unfettered, you could lose. Thanks so much for listening. I will be back next month with another psychic development tip for you. Meanwhile, visit me on my website. I'm at www.sandyanastasi.com. And there you can sign up for my newsletter, sign up for my free psychic hour, and explore all kinds of wonderful things in the field of metaphysics. Bye for now.